Houston, we have a gigantic problem. What a dumpster fire past 24 hours has been for Houston sports. They blow one of the biggest playoff leads in NFL history, become part of a stat that you would never want to be part of, blowing a 24-point lead and then losing by 20 to the Kansas City Chiefs in the NFL playoffs yesterday, and now the Houston Astros punishments for the cheating scandal came down today, and my initial reaction was that's not enough. Suspending the manager AJ Hinch and GM Jeffrey Luhnow for a year, and then losing 2 sets of first and second round draft picks for 2 years. That's going to hurt, and I agree with that, because you won't be able to replenish your farm system that has been diminished over the last few trade deadlines as they've acquired Zach Greinke and others. And you don't have the opportunity to find the next George Springer or Jose Altuve. And so I think that's going to hurt the most. A $5 million fine, that's kind of chump change in MLB salary standards, but that's a pretty significant fine to the rest of us, so I guess that'll work. But I think Jim Crane, the Astros owner, did the right thing. After about an hour after the punishments were handed down, he fired AJ Hinch and Jeffrey Luhnow. So that might be somewhat of a lifetime ban for both Luhnow and Hinch, because I don't know if another organization would take a chance on those two after this big scandal. So who knows there, but I think then he ruined it by saying in no way, shape, or form does this taint our 2017 World Series title. Are you delusional? I mean, because now we can't trust anything that as an organization that you have done, because yes, I know people will say sign stealing is the nature of baseball, nature of the beast, and yes, I would agree with that in terms of if you do it generically in the confines of the game, opponent versus opponent. But when you bring technology into the picture, that opens up a whole different can of worms, and that definitely changed the batting averages of the Astro hitters, because if you know what's coming and the amount of talent the Astros rosters have had over the years, especially in 2017, you know that played factor. And then the opponent's ERA's probably skyrocketed, because if you know what's coming, it's likely going to get smashed. And I just think that the fact that this was a player-driven scheme, according to the documents and reports, and yet the players involved were not punished at all, got off scot-free, is mind-boggling to me, especially Carlos Beltran, who was mentioned as one of the key players. I'm really surprised by that, but I guess since he gets to manage the Mets, we'll see if that turns out to be good, bad, or ugly for him. Maybe the Mets will take some action, maybe suspend him for a little while. But Alex Cora is the next domino to fall in this unfortunate situation, as he was the one that set up all of the video equipment and all of that stuff. So again, he was the coach that was the ringleader, and now he's in the hot seat with Boston, as the MLB is now doing a investigation on them and the possibility of sign stealing during the 2018 World Series. So maybe the common denominator is Alex Cora, and that's unfortunate because I think he's a great baseball guy. For AJ Hinch, I'm not surprised. I'm kind of surprised because he seemed like an upstanding guy, but he seemed like a guy that got caught in the middle of this. According to documents, he smashed the monitors, disapproved of it, but he was stuck in the middle. And if you can't really get labeled a snitch because baseball jobs are precious, and if you do that, what are you supposed to do? It's rocking a hard place there. So I think maybe 4 or 5 years down the road, AJ Hinch will manage again, but I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't either. It's just a really, really crappy, unfortunate situation for the Dodgers, in both scenarios against the Astros and then the Boston Red Sox. Who knows how big of a factor it played, but I don't know how you don't strip the Astros of the title because banners never go away, and regardless of what you think, banners, rings, and parties are still happen and still exist in terms of the record books. So I don't know if that's harsh enough there either. I really respected what the Astros have done during this rebuild process, and they kind of created a blueprint for a lot of rebuilding teams, coming back from 3 straight 100-loss seasons and building a juggernaut like they have over the last handful of years. But now you can't trust anything, and it sucks for the players that weren't involved. It sucks for the players that were, and I don't think the Astros will be able to recuperate any type of reputation now. And in a sport that I love, it really stinks that I'm talking about this right now. So those are my thoughts. I think it should have been a lot harsher of a punishment. I think it's different. The Copy situation was different because Copy lied to investigators constantly, and given that the international market is so vital to MLB and their success, and there's so many players that are international, they had to make an example, and they certainly did. But I think the Astros kind of got off easy, except for the reputation. You never can build that back as it was before, so that's unfortunate. But I can't wait to start talking about the players that are on the field and 2020 to come, because it's going to be an exciting season. Hope we never have to talk about this again, but as always, go Braves.